And what better way to celebrate this occasion than with the largest massive unboxing on this channel's history thus far, with 26 models today. Wow, 26 models. Am I going too far? Maybe I should slow down. You there! You are asking the wrong questions, little one. Why must you consider such a foolish decision? I mean, 26 models in 5 months. That's a lot. Maybe too much. My child. Why limit your horizons when you can instead expand them? Your passion for this hobby knows no bounds. Why should you? You're not wrong. I shall depart now, little one. Remember what I have told you. You know, he's right. Maybe I shouldn't consider doing less. What if I could do more? As it turns out, I could do more, and that's exactly what I did. What's up, airplane collectors? Welcome to Massive Unboxing 5. It's your host, Ray. In today's video, I'm going to show off all of the models that have entered my collection from January to early April of 2024. This time around, I've got 27 models for you. That means that Massive Unboxing 5 has taken the record for the most number of models featured in a Massive Unboxing video on this channel's history, beating out the previous record holder, which was Massive Unboxing 4, by 1 model. Due to the sheer volume of planes that are going to be featured in this video, I'm going to change up the way I do things. Instead of unboxing the models on camera, I'm going to unbox them off camera, and instead I'll just talk about the models and show them off. That way I have as much talking time as possible, and that way I don't waste too much time either. This is going to be a pretty long video, so you already know what I'm going to say. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. I'll show off everything in the order that it arrived at my location. So we'll start off with January. The first set of 2024 is this set of 4 NG models coming in from the Diecast Airplane Store. The first of the 4 is this Air Canada Airbus A320. Now, you'll realize right away that this is not the standard Air Canada livery. Instead, it's all black at the top, and it's got a gray underbelly, if you can see that. There you go. So this is a stark contrast to most airline liveries nowadays, which is usually a white fuselage and then some sort of design on the tail. The Euro white scheme, that's the thing I'm referring to. So this is definitely an interesting choice. Now, the reason Air Canada painted this A320 like this is because, one, I believe it's used for special charter services. So I think they wanted to denote that this aircraft was used for that purpose. That, and this aircraft is formerly, I believe formerly, from Air Canada Jets, which I think that's a subsidiary of Air Canada. I'm not exactly sure as to the exact reason as to why they painted it like this, but it looks cool, so I really don't care all that much either. In terms of the model is really nice. I think it would hold up well in one of my reviews. I don't see anything to complain about at first glance. Very good quality overall, which is nice to see from NG. Next up is this Alaska Airlines Airbus A321neo. This one was released at a very unfortunate time, since I think it was in late 2023 when this was released, and that's when Alaska retired their Airbus A320 family, specifically the A321neo. I think it had its last flight sometime in the fall of 23. Yeah, so it would have been really nice if NG had released this model when the aircraft was actively flying for Alaska, but they chose not to, and I think that may have been a factor that might have hurt sales. I don't know for sure. I don't know if it's still in stock at places or not, but regardless, it's a great model. I really like it. Now, I also have the Gemini version of this model. So I could do one of my model airplane showdowns with this one and the Gemini version if you guys want to see that. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see that. But with regards to the model itself, it's pretty nice. It's a solid model. Quality is pretty decent. I don't remember there being any issues with this one. So yeah, if you want to get this one, get it. It's a nice one. The last of the 1 to 400s from this set is this United Airlines Airbus A321neo. Now, the real aircraft in real life, I love it. I'm a huge fan of the Airbus A320 family, and I love United's new livery. I think I've been saying that for a few years now. So seeing the A321neo finally get the United colors, that was really cool. However, this model I have mixed feelings about, because NG found a great way to screw it up. Now, usually when a model has a mistake of some sort, I can usually let it slide, but this one has something on it that kind of throws me off a bit more than others. And I actually didn't notice this at first. You do have to be rather familiar with the anatomy of the Airbus A321neo to notice this issue, but once you see it, you can't really unsee it. So if you look at the window line right here, you'll notice that it starts off at the center of the fuselage just fine. If the camera would focus, that'd be great. There we go. So it starts off here just fine. As we move towards the rear of the aircraft, it starts to kind of get pretty high. So much so that this is the gap between the windows and like the bottom of the fuselage by the end of the fuselage. Which, that's not accurate at all. And once I saw how high the window line went, I couldn't unsee it. That's an issue that I really don't like. Because I like everything about the rest of the model. The mold is pretty good, just the printing, it really suffered. Additionally to that, the engine strake on one of the engine strakes on the left engine, I'm going to zoom in on that for you. So let me set the model down so I don't end up giving you a seizure from holding the model horribly. So the engine strake right here, you might not be able to see it, but I actually ended up having to paint that one because it showed up unpainted. It was a white piece of plastic. Now, they're lucky that this model was delivered to someone who's familiar with painting and building precision scale models, but if that showed up to someone who maybe isn't into doing that, that'd be really unfortunate because finding the correct paint and applying it to such a small part, it's very easy to screw up without practice. So yeah, that was really disheartening to see from NG because it's not a mistake NG would usually make. Now, do I like this model? Yeah, I still like it. It's got its imperfections, but I can put up with it, and I still prefer it over the Gemini version. Now for the first of the big boys in this video. This is the 1 to 200 scale United Airlines Boeing 757-200. This is one of the first releases from NG on their new 757-200 mold in 1 to 200 scale. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. It's alright. Now, I did my review on this one back in March. You guys have probably already seen it by now. And I thought it was a great model. However, there are a few things that I don't really like about it. Like the wing flex, it's perfectly level with the ground, which is not accurate since the wings should be pointed a bit upwards. And unfortunately, this seems to be a trend with NG and their 200 scale 757s, since on some of the pictures of the new releases from more recent, I'm seeing that the wing flex is almost bent down from the looks of it, which that is not right at all. Personally, I prefer high wing flex as opposed to inverted wing flex. That's really messed up. So I really hope NG fixes this because the quality on their 1 to 200 line has been faltering here and there with imperfections. The rest of the model is pretty alright though. Painted detail and printed detail was amazing. I don't remember seeing too many paint imperfections, so it was pretty good. I did notice that there was like a paint scratch in the, well, not a scratch, but a texturing in the paint right here on the nose. You can barely see it now, but there you go. You can barely see it, but this is present on a lot of pieces of this model based on what I've been told, so that's pretty unfortunate. Now, something I actually noticed while filming one of the takes that I ended up scrapping was here on the landing gear. So take a look at this piece of the landing gear, and you'll see that some paint appears to have been chipped here in the back. Like right there. That's what I'm talking about. Small issue, right? Well, the reason for that was because I actually had to detach this gear door because it was mounted completely incorrectly. This is what it should look like. And this is what it looked like before. I don't know how one makes that mistake. I mean, I get it, assembly things happen, but that is a major mistake that not even Gemini does, which, considering that this is NG, this was definitely a low ball for them. So, like I said, the 1 to 200 line quality is starting to falter a little bit, which is kind of scary. Now, before I switch on to the next set of models, I know I'm talking about this one for a while, I should mention that I did own the Gemini version of this model, and I definitely prefer the NG version because the mold quality overall is better, but yeah, this model is not without its faults either. Model number 5 is a deviation from what I usually do. Once again, it's a 1 to 72nd scale fighter jet. This time it's an FA-18F Super Hornet. This model requires some minor assembly. Alright, here it is, the FA-18F Super Hornet. Now, if you've been watching my channel for long enough, you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute, you featured this one before. Not quite, and I'll explain why in a moment. So this model I got delivered to my dorm because, well, I wanted a fighter jet in my dorm because I needed a good reminder of why I was torturing myself with such hard school assignments. So here it is. It's a pretty nice model. It's from Hobby Master. If I didn't mention, yeah, I didn't mention that already. But yeah, it's from Hobby Master. Great model, in my opinion. Overall, pretty solid. Now, this is something I wouldn't normally get, and I'll explain why in a second. But this is one of the aircraft that was used in the filming of Top Gun Maverick. This is the plane that was used to film Tom Cruise in the back seat of the F-18. So in the movie, it could seem like he was flying his own personal FA-18E, which is the single-seater variant. So this is the two-seater variant of the F-18 Super Hornet. Now, this is for those of you who were saying that I've already featured this model on my channel and in a massive unboxing already. Nope, not quite. So the model I was just discussing is to the left. The one on the right is the one I featured previously. They look the same at the first glance. I honestly wouldn't blame anyone with an untrained eye to come to that conclusion, but that is actually not the case. This is the FA-18F Super Hornet. This is the FA-18E Super Hornet. This one has 2 seats, this one has 1 seat. This one I featured in my massive unboxing for, and I got this in November of 2023. And this is the actual single-seat aircraft that Maverick supposedly flies in Top Gun Maverick. So the reason I got this one was, as I explained earlier, I wanted something in my dorm, but I also wanted to do kind of a side-by-side with both of them because I thought it would be pretty cool. And both of them are great models. I personally prefer the E model because I personally prefer single-seat aircraft, but overall both models are great, and I'm glad I have them. Now, also, an interesting thing with my F-18F. As you can see, these models come with a ton of accessories, including ordnance, such as fuel tanks, fireworks, and stones. Now, the stones that the F-18F came with weren't exactly stones. They were more like pebbles. And this is what I'm talking about, this right here. I think this is a GBU-38, I'm not exactly sure, but it's a 2,000-pound JDAM bomb. Now this thing is tiny compared to the GBU-24s that both of these have. But the problem is that this F-18F does not come with the GBU-24s. The F-18E does. So I had a bit of a problem with that because I wanted my big old GBU-24s on the F-18F. So I contacted Hobby Master and they had 1 extra set of GBU-24s and they sent it out to me. So I was really happy that I was able to do that, very excited and grateful because it was their last set of GBU-24s. So gotta have my fleet with the same loadouts and I'm glad I do. Back to our regular programming of die-cast airliners, the next model comes in from Die-Cast Jets, and it's this 1:400 scale United Airlines Boeing 777-300ER. Now, you guys have seen this model already as well. I featured it in my 777-300ER showdown, which was the showdown between 3 of these United 777s. Now, this model isn't great, but it's not terrible either. Am I going to keep it? No, because I have a better version of the 777 in 1:400 scale. But if I didn't have access to that version, I would definitely keep this one, because, like I said, it's not terrible. Now, the reason I have this model in the first place is actually because of an accident, because I never intended to buy this model, since I already had the better 777. But in the end, it worked out because that way I got to make more zesty half-done content. Now, let me explain this. So, back in January, when I got this thing, I think it was, back in January, this was a new release, and it had arrived to Die-Cast Jets fairly recently at the time. Now, you guys have probably heard of a channel by the name of Sam Chewy. That's the name of the host of the channel. And if you haven't heard of him, or if you haven't watched him, first off, how are you watching my channel in the first place? Because he's a lot bigger than mine. But what he does is that he does travel vlogs where he flies for several different airlines and all over the world, and he does vlogs and reviews of the service that he gets on those. And it's actually quite impressive what he does. I have a lot of respect for that. Now, Sam Chewy and Die-Cast Jets have a collaboration where every time a new set of releases arrives at the Die-Cast Jets place, Sam Chewy has an offer where you customers can get a discount on their orders. And the advertisement said up to 25% off on your order on the Sam Chewy website. when I read this, I said, oh, shoot, all right, I'll see if I can get a bargain on a model. So I go to order this thing, right? I input the promo code, and it doesn't work. So I try again. I go to the cart, I input the promo code, and instead of pressing like apply or something, I press the button that confirms the order. So I buy this thing on accident. And in the end, the code ended up working. And it was not the up to 25%. Far from it. It was only a 5% discount, which a discount's a discount, but bro, 5% is like $1. Okay, it's actually a little bit more than that. But still, it's just like, come on. If you're gonna advertise 25%, deliver. And besides, 25% is a lot. Maybe 15 or 10% makes sense. So yeah, thanks for the scam, Sam. Even though it wasn't exactly a scam, it was partially my fault. But yeah, that's the story behind this model. The next 3 models come in from Jet Collector. It's 2 NGs and 1 Aviation 400. Alright, so here are the first 2. This is the first set of duplicate models that are going to be in this massive unboxing. It's 2 Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800s. Now, what's special about this model is that, or these models, is that they are the replicas of the first Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 with split scimitar winglets. As someone who loves the split scimitars, I was really excited when this was released. Now, with regards to the models, both of the models, their quality is pretty solid. I'm not really sure which one is better than the other. I think they're both relatively equal, but I'll give you a close-up of the one here on the left. It's pretty solid. I like it, the quality's great, and it pairs very well with my 737-900 that I got back in 2021. And that 737-900 I actually featured in Massive Unboxing 1. So if you want to go see that and see the cringe that I posted back then and compare it to the even worse cringe that I post now, by all means, go for it. But this model's pretty good, and assuming it's still in stock in places, if you're interested in it, I definitely recommend it. Next up is this massive 777-300ER from Aviation 400. And I shouldn't say massive because I think this model is actually undersized, but that's beside the point. So this one came with the Delta 737s, and this one you guys have seen as well. I did a review on it already, and it's alright. It's not perfect. Aviation 400's 777 is not perfect by any means, as you guys saw in my 777 showdown if you guys watched that. But this one, it's still a solid model. They definitely fixed the nose shape from the past. It's not perfect. It's definitely not 100% perfect, but it's decent. And overall, I do like the model. The quality is pretty great. And the reason I got this one is because it's in the new Emirates livery. Emirates did a redesign on their livery, which a lot of people had mixed feelings about, since I'll give my personal take on it. So the old Emirates livery is not that much different from this new one. There's a few changes here and there, most notably the tail. Here they did a more, I think more, if my camera would focus, they did a more detailed flag or something like that. Or they did stripes on the flag, that's kind of what I was getting at. But overall, I think it's a good livery change because it's similar to the old livery, but it's also different. So it's not too much of a drastic change like some airlines have pulled. So it keeps the classic Emirates look while also getting a bit more modern. So personally, I do like the new livery. I'm glad that they decided to do a little update like that. And that's the reason I got this plane, because it's the first standard Emirates livery aircraft in my fleet, and 2, it's the new livery. So that's why I have this one. Wrapping up the month of January is 3 monsters, 3 of the big ones, 1 to 200 scales. The first 2 of this set is a set of Delta E175s, a long-anticipated release by us US collectors. And these 2 models, coming from Gemini, I honestly expected there to be a ton of issues, not a ton of issues, but more issues than are actually present. These models are pretty solid in my opinion. I do like them. Now I got 2 of them because, well, why the heck not? I'm holding one for a friend anyway. But I'll show you guys one of them. So, okay, these things are pretty heavy for their size. For some reason, Gemini wakes up some days and decides, you know what, we're going to make one particular model super heavy. And they definitely did it on this one. So, overall, the detail is pretty nice. I do kind of not like the fact that the gear isn't really interactive, if you will, because I do like my 1 to 200 skills having interactive gear and stuff. But it's not bad either. Like, the wheels roll, all of them roll very smoothly, and overall the quality is really solid on on both of the models. So I'm glad I have them in my fleet, and I definitely hope to get a United E175 so I can have the E175s from the three major airlines here in the US, well, more specifically their subsidiaries, because I have the American one, I just need to get the United one. But yeah, here's this one. It's pretty solid. And the last model from January is this massive Gemini 200 United Airlines Boeing 787-10, or just 787-10. It's big! It's bad! Wait, YouTube, don't copyright strike me. Just kidding, no. And no, it is not bad. I did my review on this one back in March, so you guys have seen this one already. But I also didn't intend on getting this model. However, I did intentionally place the order for it. Now, the reason I say I didn't intend on getting this model is because someone, Mr. Mustardman, ended up convincing me to get it. He said, oh, come on, just get it. And I figured, okay, I have the Dash 9, might as well get the Dash 10. And here it is. And turns out I actually like this one so much, I'm selling my Dash 9 because I don't have enough room for the 787-9 that I got in 2021. But yeah, this model is really nice. I do like it overall. It's got its imperfections like every model, but it's one of my favorites. The 787 is a beautiful aircraft, and the 787-10 with its long fuselage looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very glad that I was convinced to get this model.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The next 4 models make up the entirety of what showed up for the month of February, coming in from the Flying Mule and the Diecast Airplane Store, 2 each. Is the infamous Gemini Jets 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Bombardier CRJ 900. I think it's Bombardier, but yeah, the CRJ 900. And here I was 3 years ago clowning someone for ordering multiple of them, and yet I show up with 4. What a hypocrite move! Isn't that right? Well, at least it wasn't 27 of them. Now, the reason I ordered 4 was because, 1, I wanted to ensure that I got the ones that I wanted. I wanted at least 2, because these, they sell out super fast. When they were released in 2021, it sold out within, I'd say, a day or 2. The pre-order, it did. And when it was in stock for like 2 seconds, and then the scalpers grabbed it, and all that fun stuff happened. So that release sold out very fast. So when this one came out, I immediately ordered 4. 2 from 2 different retailers. 2 from the Flying Mule, 2 from Diecast Airplane Store. Now, the reason I wanted 2 is because 1 for my collection, 2 I'm holding 1 for a friend, but I did not expect to get all 4. Now, my plan regarding the remaining 3 that I'm just going to keep for myself, really, I already have the 2021 release. I don't want to replace that one because these are pretty garbage compared to the 2021 release. Well, actually, no. Both releases suck with regards to quality. The only thing that this one improves on is the horizontal stabilizers are actually pointed downwards, like on the real CRJ 900. On the 2021 release, they were angled very highly upwards. However, the landing gear on all of these, especially this one, holy cow, is all messed up. First off, it's mounted backwards. That's not what the CRJ 900 landing gear should look like. So that's 1. And 2, the quality is pretty garbage. The horizontal stabilizers on one of these, I forget which one it was broken, and there was a blue stain on the right wing of one of these. I think it was this one here. I'm going to interrupt the video here because there is something that I didn't notice during filming, and only now during editing and after inspecting the models once more did I realize this issue that I did not mention in the video. So I was inspecting the wings of all 4 models, and on all 4 of them it looked as though the right main wing had been warped downwards, as if someone took the wing and manually bent it, which is not correct for the aircraft at all, and it looked really messed up. So I was able to bend them back into place, but it's a testament to the quality on this release, and that this quality was pretty terrible. Another thing that I noticed on, I think it was 2 of them, were the horizontal stabilizers were out of balance, if you will. They were not symmetrical, such that one of them was level with the ground and the other was bent downwards. So that looked even worse. So I'm not going to be keeping any of my 2024 release of the Delta CRJ 900 from Gemini. Now, like I said earlier, my plan for them is to keep them for a while. I want to keep them, let them appreciate in value. And then I'm going to sell them for an extreme market. I'm just kidding. No, I do not have the moral compass to do that. What I want to do is I want to sell them gradually at retail price. Maybe a little bit above retail price, but not by much, because I do want to make my money back from the shipping and stuff. Because, well, I already know people spam ordered this, specifically scalpers, and they're going to try and sell it for like $200 to $500 on eBay, because before any of these releases happened in 2021 or 24, they were selling on eBay for over $1,000. That is insane for a model airplane, especially of this tiny, puny size. Starting off the month of March, it's this Gemini 200 United Airlines Airbus A321neo. Now, the only reason I bought this thing was because, well, I saw it and I wanted it. It came in from the Greyland station, so I went in person to go turn in my convention papers, and I saw it there and I said, might as well. And I got it. And you guys have seen this one already, I think, because I think I did a review on it. I'm pretty sure I did. And overall, everything aft of the nose is actually pretty solid. It's a decent model. The nose, however, is from a Sukhoi Superjet 100. At this point, I'm not even exaggerating. Okay, I'm very much exaggerating. But yeah, the nose shape isn't great, as you can tell. So yeah, but the rest of the model is actually pretty decent. And I like it. It's a solid plane. So really, there's not that much to complain about except for, yeah, the nose. And that was really annoying to see. Now, the model you're going to see next originally was going to be the substitute for, not a substitute, but that was the original model. I got this one because I got paranoid that the model I'm about to show you wasn't going to show up. Here it is. This is the in-flight 200 version of the United Airlines Airbus A321neo. And when compared to the Gemini version, this one gets the nose right. However, they get everything else wrong. Not everything else wrong, but it's bad with regards to quality. You can't really see it right now, but if I were to do a review on this thing, I would slaughter it. Now, normally I would sell this type of model. For your viewing pleasure, I will display both models side by side. The left side is the in-flight model, the right side is the Gemini model. Now, the reason I can't get rid of this model, even if I wanted to, which I don't really want to, is because, well, first off, I ordered this model intending to open it when I got home for spring break, because it was kind of a birthday present for myself. What happened was that the model arrived the day after I left and returned back to school from spring break. What the hell, USPS and also DG Pilot. I'm just kidding, no. Don't worry about it. It's just a delay. I got the model and I won't complain. So, yeah, this one comes in from DG Pilot, by the way. So, yeah, that was quite unfortunate to deal with. Now, the reason I can't get rid of this model is because it was part of a very special event that happened in April of 2024. Monday, April 8th of 2024, a total solar eclipse crossed North America. And the path of totality was about an hour south, or not an hour, I think it was about half an hour south of where I was going to school, or where I am going to school. I'm obviously not in school right now, but where I am going to school. Now, I asked my dad to bring the model so I could see it and we could go see the eclipse. And well, one thing led to another, and I ended up holding up the model during the eclipse. And here's the picture that I took with it. So it's got that sentimental value of the fact that it made it to the eclipse day. So I can't really get rid of it. That, and I have the in-flight 200 United A319 and A320, so it would make sense to keep the in-flight version of the A321neo. Now back to discussing both models. Yes, I will do a model airplane showdown between both of them. It's going to be a slaughter for both of them because there's so much wrong, not so much, but there's a lot I can criticize for both models. So it should be quite interesting. It'll be the first 1 to 200 scale model airplane showdown episode on the channel. So stay tuned for that. I'm not sure when that's going to come, but I do have that planned already. That's it for the month of March. Now kicking off the month of April, well, early April, with this set of NG model 737 MAX 7s. I believe this is the first release from NG on their new 737 MAX 7 mold, sorry. Now, you guys have seen this model on the channel already, too. I did a review on it. Now, I have 2 of them. Why? Well, because I wanted 2 of them. Now, much to the emotional annoyance of every single European collector on the NG Models Instagram page, they released a ton of Southwest models recently. And they figured out a creative way to butcher a lot of them. The reason I say butcher is because it's a gross exaggeration of the color incorrectness of the blue on the fuselage. So here's a close-up view of one of them. So the quality on the model is actually really good. Quality's good, assembly's consistent. I really like it. The thing that upset a lot of collectors and that really threw me off as well was the blue color on the fuselage. that blue is way too dark. It's way darker than the actual Southwest Heart blue, so it really detracts from the accuracy and the quality of the model. It was a very unpleasant surprise from us collector, or from the collector's perspective. Now, I do want to talk about this one a bit more. I do really like the 737 MAX family, and I'm very glad that NG did release this one because I doubt anyone else would have wanted to, but they really need to improve on their coloring. Like I said, NG's quality has been a bit spotty recently, and this one is definitely uncommon from them because they've screwed up colors before, but not to this degree. Continue suffering, European collectors. More Southwest! This time, this is the 737-700 with the regular winglets, also from NG. You guys just saw this one in my most recent episode of Model Airplane Showdowns. It was between this NG Model 1 and the one from Gemini Jets. And once again, great models, great quality. They just butchered the colors, so that was really annoying to see. So here's the model very up close, actually. So aside from the color, the quality is great. Well, actually, no, that's not the only issue. The winglet stripe, if you look here, there's stripes on the winglet from the Southwest livery. If the camera would focus, that'd be excellent, man. Really would appreciate that, but apparently can't get that today. There we go. All right, so as you can see on the winglet, there's the yellow stripe, there's the red stripe. Where's the blue stripe? It's completely missing from this side of the winglet. It's placed way too low along the winglet, which really was disheartening to see because NG, they've done pretty good on their Southwest releases, especially the 737-800s that they've done in the past, but they just decided to butcher the 737-700s and the MAX 7s. Not butcher, but really mess up the quality on them, so that was annoying to see. Now, with regards to which model I'm going to keep out of the NG version of this model, which you see here, and the Gemini version, which I posted about earlier, or not earlier, but in the past, I don't know. I don't know which one I want to keep because I don't like the Gemini mold. I like the mold on this one, but then again, the quality and the issues with this one really annoys me, so I don't know. I honestly don't know which one I would pick out of either of them. Even more! This is the last bit of Southwest for the unboxing, I promise. So this is the last set of Southwests for the video, and by the way, all of these Southwests have come in from Jet Collector, and this is all the month of April, well, start of the month of April. So this is another set of 737-700s, only these have the split scimitar winglets. Again, they have the same issue with the wing. I think they have the same issue with the winglet stripe. Yeah, they have the same issue with the winglet stripe, and the blue color is still too dark. Alright, so here's the model up close. It's pretty much the exact same as the regular winglet, the blended winglet 737-700 I just featured, only this one's got the splits. So, yeah, it's pretty decent. Oh, look, so the blue stripe does appear to be just barely poking out there. You can barely see it, but yeah, it's barely poking out. So at least they got it somewhat right. I'm pretty sure that is accurate. But yeah, the blue color, not the best. Still though, I'm not sure what I want to do with these either because there's also the Panda model version that I had and I sold a while back because I prefer the NG mold for their 737s, but I'm not sure if I want to get that Panda version again if somehow or what the plan is with that, but we'll see. Again, this model, decent, but it's not really that decent, but yeah, that color, bleh, messed up. And already, a lot quicker than I expected, this is the last model of Massive Unboxing 5, and fittingly, it's a replica of the last 747. This is the NG model 1:400 scale replica of the, well, last 747. And you guys have seen this one before. I did a review on this one a few weeks ago. Now, this model is quite alright. It's pretty impressive for the 1:400 scale 747-8, but it had quite a few issues with it. So what do I mean by that? Well, two of the antennas were messed up and broken. It was this one up here. I didn't get pictures of it, but yeah, this one was messed up and detached, so I had to detach it, paint it, and then, well, I reattached it, then I painted it. And then this one down here, I did get pictures of. It was bent and had paint chips, and then I detached it and reattached it, and it looks fine now, but that was an annoying thing to see. Now, another thing that was really stupid, well, annoying to see was the engines here. I pointed this one out in my review, but the engine strakes were an obvious indicator that I got a right side engine on the left side of the aircraft because of the engine strakes are supposed to be facing towards the fuselage. So if you've noticed already, NG's quality has been faltering recently, which This is starting to get pretty scary from a collector's perspective, so I'm not sure what to think of it, but I don't like the way things are going for NG. And that is the end of Massive Unboxing 5. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I'd imagine this was a pretty long video, so thanks for staying till the end. With regards to reviews and such, as I mentioned earlier, I reviewed a lot of these planes, so if you want, you can go check those out on my channel. And I do intend on doing a few more reviews of these, so stay tuned for that. As well as one more Model Airplane Showdown episode with the United A321neos that I mentioned earlier, so stay tuned for all of that. Feel free to check out my channel for reviews and other Massive Unboxing episodes. You can see the Massive Unboxing episodes I've had so far in the Massive Unboxings playlist that I have in the description and the pinned comments, so feel free to check those out. Well, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me down below how I did and which models you like and which models you want to see reviews of. I'm happy to hear all of it. And that's really all I've got. Happy building, happy collecting, stay safe, and stay tuned for Massive Unboxing 6. I'll see you there.